Hey everybody, welcome to How I See It with Kevin Levrone, starring IFBB Hall of Famer Kevin Levrone, brought to you by his company Levrone Supplements, which it looks like has just introduced some bars. What is that you're holding, Kevin?
That's right. Right here is the Anabolic Pro Bar. We've come out with the black line. So that's what that is, Ron. Yes.
So are Levrone Supplements available in the United States now?
Oh, real soon. Yeah. Matter of fact, we did our first intro in Nashville at the Nashville Fit Show a week and a half ago. It was a really good, successful show down there. Nashville Fit Show is an all-female show. Ran down in Nashville by Whitney Weiser. She's the promoter of the show. So we opened up the floodgates down there and introduced the brand into America from there.
And I see on your Instagram you got a new product, Shaboom Pump. That's a pre-workout?
Yes. The Shaboom Pump is actually from the Black Line as well. And we have the shots. Shaboom Pump has been out for probably going on almost a year now.
Oh, okay.
But we decided to bring out the shots, the pre-workout shots.
Yeah.
So these are little shots that you can, as you travel, you can take them with you as you travel. They're allowed through customs, so there's not a lot of liquid in there. It's just a shot. And we also have the other one is a Scatterbrain, which is it's an energy drink that we decided to come out with to give you energy, sustain energy throughout your training. So we have Scatterbrain shots and we have the new Shaboom Pump in shot versions. So we're excited about those.
And you have been everywhere. I mean, I think the last time I was able to pin you down for one of these was right after the Arnold. So you've been, geez, I saw you in like Macedonia. You went to Greece. Were you all over Europe? Where some of the...
Yeah, well, Albania.
Yeah.
We're in Greece. We're in Germany for the FIBA Bowl, of course. We started off in China. We went to Paris, France. So we visited 8 different countries in about 5 weeks.
Typical.
Yeah. So it was, 2 or 3 days here packing up. When we first got cranked off, we spent actually close to almost 2 weeks in China.
Oh, wow.
Which was very productive. It was really good, getting involved and seeing the fans and introducing, the Black Line and what we have coming up, for the future. And also, the unique line. I forgot to tell you about the unique line that we have. This is the unique bars that we came out with. Also, we developed the unique line, which is the more mainstream line.
Oh, okay.
And we have fish oils, multivitamins, and everything for the unique line as well. So we have three different lines now. We have the signature series, we have the Levrone Black Line, and we have the unique line that we launched 2000. The unique line has been launched 2019. So
is the Black Line like more hardcore, like for bodybuilders?
Yeah, it is, because we found out when we went into the areas, certain areas, everybody's taste buds are different. We're in over like 60 some different countries now. So, what pertains to someone here in America or someone in Germany, not necessarily is going to be the same taste that they prefer in a country like Dubai or Iraq or Kuwait or Egypt. So we try to manufacture products geared towards the industry and what they like, what they want. So that's what the Levrone Signature Series does. Not only the Signature Series, but we just, everyone's different. When we come to America here, we're finding that a lot of the taste, Americans, of course, we love strawberry, we love chocolate, we love vanilla.
Right.
Over there it's different.
Sure.
Not everyone loves strawberry over there. And vanilla. So we have to mix it up a little bit. But of course, I know what fits here in the U.S. We know what fits here. We know what sells in America. So the American market, we're going to launch about 3 or 4 different products here, just to start with. So keep it simple, basic, moving forward.
Kevin Levrone fans want to know, how is the triceps doing?
The tricep is healed. It's healed. Okay. Now what I have to do is just get in the gym and do what I do best and get into training and focus on focus on that again. Which the timing is perfect because the new
Exile Fitness.
The new XL Fitness, baby, hardcore mecca of the East Coast is opening up. Matter of fact, 2 days from now.
Oh, wow.
The opening is 2 days from now. So we got like 40,000 square foot of madness, man. Brand new location down the street on Pulaski Highway in Baltimore, Maryland. Bobby, has done a great job. Everyone, the members done a great job. Everyone, as far as pitching in, helping and supporting, what the movement and what we have going on here on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So it's phenomenal. So this is something very, very, very exciting happening down here in Baltimore, Maryland, for this summer. We're going to be setting up a grand opening sometime around about June. So we'll be inviting some pros coming down.
Oh, cool.
To for this grand opening. Not only guys, but also women. So the gym is for women, for everyone. But it's hardcore. We have a credible sound system in the place.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. And Medax, you know him. Everybody knows him.
Who?
He's going to be Medax, the guy that takes the spray paint cans.
Oh, the mural. That makes those awesome murals.
Paints those murals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man, he's coming in to do his thing. So we're going to be flying him in, to do his thing and put his signature on XL Fitness as well. So it's going to be busy, interesting summer going on down here in Baltimore, Maryland, XL Fitness.
Did he already figure out what he's going to paint, or are you going to give him a request?
I was talking to him the other day, and he says, I sent him, Bobby sent me, pictures of the gym, and we have ideas of the wall that we want him to do. But Medax was like, look, even though that was in the beginning, let me see what you have now, because things change, just like preparing for a bodybuilding contest. You have to switch things up. So one wall changes, equipment come in, everything looks different. So we had to send him a video from walking in from the front of the building to actually the whole entire layout. So his thought process as an artist is trying to capture that moment, and things are probably going to change,
Yeah,
from what I know right now.
I've seen a lot of his work, and he's so talented, that guy. So talented.
Oh, it's phenomenal. He's gifted, man. Big time.
All right, it's time to get into the main topic, Kevin, and you knew this was coming. I prepared you earlier. So Shawn Rhoden is Mr. Olympia. Every May, Jim Mannion invites whoever the current Mr. Olympia is, plus 5, 6, 8 more guys from the top 10 of the Olympia to come guest pose.
Right.
It's a huge honor because Jim's the boss. He's head of the NPC and the IFBB. He's the granddaddy of all this stuff that we do here. So controversy is Shawn Rhoden showed up skinny fat. He had lost a lot of muscle, and he was carrying a lot of body fat, like way more than most bodybuilders, especially at the professional level, would ever want to carry. And he went on stage like that. And of course, there's been a huge backlash. The fans, a lot of pros came out against him. Some defended him, saying,
"No,
show's not till September. What are you judging this guy now for?" And other guys have said, he's just doing what Kevin Levrone always did. Kevin would take it easy for months and months, then he would kick it into gear for 3-4 months for the Olympia, and he'd look awesome at the Olympia. And I want to read you what Shawn said on Instagram in response to all this, because I was waiting for him to respond. He put out a little explanation. Okay, here we go. So he said, good morning, blah, 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 Shawn Rhoden. He says, just like you, I put my pants on one leg at a time. I've been skinny, and yes, I do get fat in the off season. I've never hidden who I am, where I'm from, what I do for. So you guys looking to get more likes or views on your page, here you go. Every year I try to add balance to my life after Olympia and try to be normal, give my body a break and live a little. Come September, I always show up ready to compete with the best of the best in the sport and hold my own. And there's more, but the main point is people were defending him and using you as a comparison because you were known to not stay huge and ripped all year. Although, to your credit, I saw you downsize many times in that era. I never saw you like out of shape looking. You always look like an athlete to me. You would be down to about, I don't know, what'd you get down to, like 210 between Olympias at times?
210, 215,
Yeah,
yeah,
you looked like
220.
a very athletic guy. You know, you still looked muscular and athletic. You didn't look like out of shape. And I don't know if you've seen the picture of the video, but Roden was, I mean, he had almost love handles. He was that fat. You know,
Mhm.
not one line on his body, and he was down in size. You know, I had Ronnie on last week, and you know, Ronnie says, "Yeah, I was fat." And he was fat. I saw Ronnie guest pose out of shape many times, but he was
Mhm.
300 pounds. He was just overwhelmingly huge. So where to begin? First of all, do you think it's a fair comparison to compare the way Shawn takes his off season to what you used to do?
No,
Okay.
I don't think it's a fair comparison because Shawn Rhoden is a different person. You know, he has his own thoughts and ideas of what he's doing. Um, I don't think he said he's doing what I'm doing or what,
No, he
you
didn't.
know,
He didn't.
my approach. If he didn't say this, then
No. Other
certainly
people.
not. Regardless, you can't forget what other people say. You know, other people are so quick to criticize and judge someone. I've been through it so much to where you take other people out of it. If Shawn didn't say this, then you can't. It's no comparison. I mean, it's not fair.
Okay.
You know.
But as far as giving his body, you know, you gave your body a break. You didn't train heavy 12 months out of the year. You didn't use gear 12 months out of the year. And that seems to be what he's hinting at is that he's not training at the same capacity, and
Okay.
he didn't say anything about gear, but it was very obvious to anyone that
So who? Okay, who's criticizing him?
everybody on Instagram, everybody on
Because
Facebook.
this is I heard about it maybe a week ago.
Hmm.
I wasn't wrapped up in it, but of course I can give my whole view once I figure out. Okay, so everybody, who's everybody? Give me an idea.
Everybody with an opinion, you know, everyone's got an opinion. So everyone that has a YouTube channel has made videos about it.
Is there
Uh,
some names you want to tell me?
I mean,
Because I don't even know.
Dave Palumbo, anybody that's got a YouTube channel has commented on this.
Okay.
I've gotten comments out of guys like
All right.
Ronnie. Giles had Jay comment on it.
Okay.
The point, I guess, most people are saying there's two sides to it. One, you're Mr. Olympia. If you're
Okay.
Mr.
Let's. Okay. Go ahead. You're
If you're
Mr.
Mr.
Olympia.
Olympia, you're representing the sport to the world. Shouldn't you be training hard and shouldn't you be in some kind of shape? Like, I can't imagine seeing Lee Haney in May when he was Mr. Olympia, even though the Olympia wasn't until
All
September in
right.
those years. I can't imagine seeing Lee Haney fat. I can't imagine seeing Dorian or Ronnie looking like they hadn't really been training hard in May. They always looked
Mhm.
huge and they were always
Okay.
training hard, even if they weren't lean.
And I absolutely, I can agree with that.
So
Okay.
if you're
But
Mr. Olympia,
also,
if
but
you,
also check this
yeah,
out.
yeah,
He's Mr. Olympia.
right,
Does he have a contract with the Mr. Olympia or the IFBB Federation
no,
on how to present himself? No.
no.
Did they say, okay, now you're our Mr. Olympia, you're our king? Did anyone talk to him and try to be a role mentor as far as telling him what's expected of him that comes along with this title? No. I can probably sit there and tell you no.
Yeah.
Joe Weider, okay? So let's look at Joe Weider. Let's look at how he cared about Arnold Schwarzenegger, first of all.
Mm.
He molded Arnold, okay?
Yeah.
He told Arnold what he needed to do. He was there. He taught him how to pose. He didn't just give Arnold this responsibility. He was there for the ride. He was there for the ride with Frank Zane. He was there for the ride with Lee Haney. He was certainly there for the ride with Dorian Yates.
Mm.
When Dorian Yates became Mr. Olympia, he was not left to figure it out what to do, how to market himself, what's expected of him. At those moments and times, we're talking about the Mr. Olympia and what's expected of and how Shawn Rhoden should look in this and that. So to his defense, who's there for him?
Yeah.
So maybe we need to implement that structure, which is definitely not there right now. So let's not criticize him. Maybe there's, Joe Weider would do that for us, Ron.
Mm.
I was a Weider athlete, okay? Even when I won the Nationals, I came in and I turned pro. I went underneath the Weider umbrella.
Mm.
Len Conkright, I signed a contract with Joe Weider, the Weider Foundation, the whole thing. They taught us, do this, don't do this. We expect of you to do this. don't do this. We were under contract. Joe taught us how to pose. Joe was at every photo shoot. He cared about us. So, that means a lot. And let me tell you, people can sit and criticize Shawn, but, where's the structure?
Yeah.
And it's gone. It's not there.
I mean, it was Joe Weider's Mr. Olympia, and there is no Joe. Joe Weider's gone. So
it's not. It's not. So we could say, yeah, Shawn's this, Shawn that, but maybe that needs to be implemented because it is a huge responsibility. Okay, to be Mr. Olympia, to be expected, and now we're comparing him to all the guys in the past. You said Ronnie Coleman, you said Jay, you said. Lee Haney. Lee Haney wouldn't walk out there like that. But guess what? Lee Haney wasn't on his own. He didn't win Mr. Olympia and just left back to figure things out on his own. He had an umbrella of he had Joe, he had Jimmy, he had so many people. He was an athlete of the IFBB. He was a Weider athlete. That's gone. It's gone. So I don't fault him 100% at all. Maybe he has a plan, but I know one thing: he's left out there to try to figure out what he needs to do, what's going to work best for him, and he's under a lot of pressure. And there's nobody there except Chris Aceto to help the guy. True. So I would say, you know what? Let's see what happens. I wish the best for the man. I really do. And he's trying. He's accomplished things. He's accomplished things that Shawn and I hasn't. He's accomplished things that Flex and I hasn't. Chris Cormier, he's accomplished things that we haven't. But let me tell you something. When I was an IFBB pro, we were under great responsibilities. We were under Weider. Joe Weider's looked after us. We had meetings with Joe once a year, twice a year. Joe would take us all in the room and tell us what's expected of us. Lynn Concrete would tell us, okay, this is you guys' schedule. You have to show up. You have to do this. You have to do that. And we had to represent what the IFBB and Mr. Olympia and Joe Weider stood for. That's gone today. So who's to blame?
Good question. Well, let me ask Kevin, when you downsize like that, you didn't guest pose when you were like 210, 215, did you, or did you?
No, I didn't, because I picked and choose my battles. And again, like I say, I agree with you, and I agree with the people. But then also you have to also realize that, the structure that needs to be implemented to what's expected of our champion is not there. So no, I wouldn't go out there, but I knew better not to do that.
Shawn knew what he looked like. Do you think he felt pressured that I have to guest pose no matter what I look like because I'm on the flyer? I have to? Or if you were in that position, would you have asked, maybe could I just give a little speech or something, take pictures, sign autographs, but I really shouldn't be up there in my shorts right now?
Every man's climbing the ladder step is different. I think he's been criticized enough. Let's just see what he brings to the Mr. Olympia stage. Was it September?
Yeah,
let's just give the man that much credit, because I was beat up many times for being small, but also I had a plan. Maybe he has a plan that we just don't know about. It's very easy to sit back and judge someone right now. The show ain't until 18, 19 weeks, 18, 16, 17 weeks, whatever it is, Right. That's what he looks like on game day. Like I said, he doesn't have a contract with the IFBB to look a certain way. There's no rules and regulations put in place for this man what to do since he's been Mr. Olympia. So what's his what is he going off of? What we're saying what's expected of you, but what are the demands put on a Mr. Olympia for being the grand champion of the world? And he doesn't have that. So I would focus on more what, if we do have a Mr. Olympia, what's expected on the business end of this man moving forward, so we don't run into these issues again, so that a Mr. Olympia isn't embarrassed again, so that he has an opportunity to make the decisions with his team to pull out instead of being bashed like he is, because I mean, I feel for him, you know, and it's just sad. It just shows that maybe there's some structure missing somewhere, So I wouldn't fully blame him 100%.
If who would be the one? I mean, Dan Solomon's a promoter of the Olympia now. Jim Mannion's the head of the competitive side of it, the IFBB. I mean, who in your mind would be the person for Shawn to turn to for guidance and say this is what's expected of you as our champion, as our Mr. Olympia?
I'd say the federation.
Okay. So Jim,
The I don't know if it's Jimmy's responsibility, but Joe Eder was there. He was on top. I don't somewhere who's doing the marketing for the Mr. Olympia, who's doing the marketing, who wants to sell tickets for the Mr. Olympia. This person up there, who's ever taken Joe Eder's position and spot, needs to be responsible for this, because we do need to hold these champions accountable of how they represent the sport and what's expected of them. You're giving away $500,000. They're our champions. How are we going to help them? What's expected of them? And right now, there's no rules in place at all.
right.
Nothing. Nothing.
The one thing that probably helped the show as far as these other guys that were guest posing up there, I think they all got a big shot of motivation because they saw how bad Shawn looks now, and they might not be aware that I think Shawn usually does look like this at this time of year.
Well, don't be surprised. I think these guys, they can't sleep on him.
Oh, he'll
certainly don't sleep on him, because
I have no doubt he's going to look awesome.
I mean, if anyone said who would have been the next Mr. Olympia, who would beat Jay Cutler? I mean, who would beat Phil Heath? No one would have thought about Shawn.
Nope.
So I don't think it's fair. Of course, everybody has their opinions, but let's judge the man on game day. Let's judge the man when he walks on stage. He's a champion. Obviously, he knows what he's doing. He's won the title. Neither of us has won it, not you or me. So let's see what he comes up with, and to walk into this thing blindsided and have so many eyes on you, and people just, you're not big enough. You look like this constantly. I can only imagine what he's going through,
I mean, in your day, there was no social media, so you didn't have
there was no social media.
a billion people putting the pictures up and their comments up.
Yeah, but I mean, like I'm saying, Ron, out of all due, respect and for him, but again, it's like, what's expected of him? This is a huge thing. Mr. Olympia is not just a title; it's a business. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's like the COO, Chief Operating Officer of professional bodybuilding right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So along with that comes other responsibility. You have that title.
Yeah.
But how do you represent that title? What are you going to do to support, us bodybuilders? You're the king of the mountain, So not only do you supposed to look like a king, you're supposed to present yourself as a king, and everything else. So how about implementing that structure, and then we won't have a dying sport when it comes to hardcore bodybuilding. Because you mentioned a name to me, Lee Haney.
Yeah.
Lee Haney had Joe Weider right beside his side.
Yeah.
Lee Haney had Jim Mannion right beside his side. They looked over him. Who did Dorian have? Joe Weider. We know that.
Right.
They were tight.
Even Jay had Joe.
Even Ronnie had him too.
Yeah.
And you would go in Joe Weider's office, and people didn't even know. Lou Ferrigno had him. Joe would have Frank Zane, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lee Haney, big pictures painted of his champions up there. All that's gone now. Where's the mentorship for our champions? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So someone's got to step up. Someone has to step up to lay the foot down, the law down, and say, you know what, champ, this is what we expect you to do for us. If not, he's just left out there trying to figure out himself, and you're going to have a dying sport. What's happening in the bodybuilding? You got classic physique that's coming up, and it's growing. Yeah. It's getting huge. It's getting big, And so it's, let's jump in and pitch in and just try to support the champ and because that's what we need to do instead of breaking each other down.
Good response, man. I'm sure Shawn will hear this and he's going to appreciate that. Someone on the MD forum wanted your opinion on, it's a hypothetical situation for you. If you had won the Mr. Olympia in the 90s or in 2000 or 2002, would you have changed your routine and not gone off everything, instead kept your size year round in order to be an example and ambassador of what Mr. Olympia and champion is and should look like? I'm curious to hear his answer because Rhoden used the Levrone line, saying, I don't know if Shawn actually used your name ever, saying he basically comes down and off for health reasons and longevity. So yeah, if you had won the Olympia at any of those points where you took second 4 times, 5 times, 4 times. If you had won the Olympia, would you have still done what you normally did, where you would come off the heavy training, the gear, and all that, or would you have tried to maintain a Mr. Olympia look year round?
That's a great question. Probably the only way I can answer that question is, in my mind, I just wanted to win the Miss Olympia, and I would have quit. Okay.
No matter when you won.
That would have been my goal, just to stop. Okay. Because I would accomplish my goal. That was my thought process then. But thought processes change when you become a champion and you want more. So to really sit here and come up with something saying what I should have, could have, would I have done different. All I know is the life that I was dealt with, the hand that I was dealt with, I made the decisions based on me placing second and what I needed to do for my health. Had I had a one Mr. Olympia, I don't know what thought process I would have had moving forward, because once I didn't win once and once I didn't win second and third, I just started looking at it as a business. Now this is a business for me. I have to market it myself. I have to look at it as a business because I'm not Mr. Olympia. So then other thoughts and things come into play where you have to market yourself different ways and you have to have longevity. But going into the sport, like any other probably champion who's won Mr. Olympia, I think their goals was to be Mr. Olympia. And then after accomplishing that goal, you decide what your plan moving forward. Obviously, Lee Haney's was 8-time Mr. Olympia, and moving forward, Ronnie's was 8. Jay's was 4, and Dorian's was 6, and Phil's was 8, right? 7.
Yeah.
But for me, my goal was just to win, and then I would have made my decisions after that. So I can't really say what I would have, should have, could have, would have done differently. All I know is the hand that I had, I made the best decisions moving forward and working with it.
I suspect you would have wanted to win another one. I mean, it's got to feel awesome. You're Mr. Olympia. You're like, oh shit, I'm Mr. Olympia.
I don't know, but I'm the
awesome
type of guy to where I don't like defeat. But after going through it once, I don't think I want to put myself through that risk again.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Final question, because your name comes up again when people talk about Kai Green, because the last time the Mr. Olympia had a special invitation was 2016 when it was extended to you. And there was actually a rumor going on that Kai had already been given a special invitation for this year, which turned out not to be true. But there's still a possibility that, Dan Solomon, the promoter, from a business point of view, I think it'd be an amazing thing to have Kai Green in the Olympia. So what's your opinion? Should Kai Green get a special invitation to the Mr. Olympia this year?
Should he? Of course he should. I think he should.
I got my Kai shirt on. Yeah, look at him.
I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of Kai Green's. Yeah. I think the whole world is waiting for him to show up. Kai, we want to see you, baby. Show up, please. We really do. I think it would be incredible. But Kai has his thought process at hand and what he wants to do moving forward. But certainly invite him. Any businessman who's running a professional bodybuilding event, it'd be a fool not to invite the man.
Yeah. I mean, any Mr. Olympia with Kai Green in it is a better Mr. Olympia as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, come on, man.
I mean, my dream is Phil Heath might come back this year. He's ahead of schedule.
Oh, yeah?
So if we got Phil Heath, Shawn Rhoden, Kai Green. Imagine that. Wow.
No, imagine the wild card. People keep not really. I don't know what's going on, but I'm telling you, Brandon Curry.
Brandon Curry, Rolly Winkler, they're all heavy hitters.
Brandon Curry, man. I think Brandon's going to do some incredible, amazing things on that Mr. Olympia stage.
It's not impossible to say that he could win the Olympia this year. Who knows? He could.
No.
You never know.
I have my top 3 already picked in my head. I can tell you that right now.
Top 3 is.
I guess we'll do that. We'll do that on the next How I See It. Trust me.
Okay, once we get a little closer.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Man. Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much, Kevin. Your Instagram is Kevin Levrone.
Kevin Levrone.
Kevin Levrone. Easy enough, everybody.
That's right.
Levrone supplements coming to the United States of America very, very soon. Some awesome new products that you'll be able to try.
We'll be here next month, man.
All right, cool. So
we'll be here next month. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. So, yes, sir.
Well, always interesting to hear your opinions, Kevin.
Thank you, Ron.
It's never exactly what I expect, and that's a cool thing. Otherwise, I could do these by myself.
What did you expect to hear from me?
I thought you were going to bash Shawn. Why did he get so fat? You crumb. But no. Yeah. That was that was a totally different take on, why the whole lack of guidance and structure as far as what's expected of the champs since Joe has passed. I never thought
we're missing the mentor. We're missing the mentor, man. Yeah. I asked Joe Weider one time. I said, Joe, why I was better than Dorian? Why didn't I win? He says, Kevin, there's something unique and different about the Mr. Olympia champion. And I said, what? He goes, that's why people keep coming back to the Mr. Olympia. He says, because they want to see, and they're waiting for the champ to be defeated. So I have no problem selling tickets each and every year. He says, that's the mystery about it. He goes, but every other show you go to out there, the champ loses. There's a new champ. There's a new champ. There's a new champ. He goes, what makes the Mr. Olympia special is that the people keep coming. And I said, wow. He said, but don't take it personal. Dorian Yates is doing something that you can't do. And I said, what? He says he's opening up the floodgates to Europe. He's getting the European market. He said, if I took you, Flex Wheeler, and Shawn Ray, which you all certainly deserve to be great Mr. Olympia champions, and you would win, Flex will win, and Shawn will win, he said, nothing will change. Nothing will change. He goes, but I have Dorian. He's the champion. But he can do what you guys can't do. It's business,
Wow.
And it made sense to me. It made sense to me. And look at the sport now.
Yeah.
It's grown, So hats off to Dorian Yates and what he's done. Hats off to Joe for his vision. We can't take things personal when we don't win a competition because, like I said, responsibility. And that made me think about responsibility and the thought process of our Mr. Olympia. We need to certainly have a role model set up in place for him and what's expected of our champ, so he's not out there left alone, being mockery and making fun of like this, because it's certainly not fair,
Cool.
To compare him to what everybody else did back then. But look at the supporting body of what they had. All of our great champions prior to Shawn. Yeah.
Excellent point, Kevin. All right, that'll do it. That's been a great episode. It was worth the wait.
Thank you, man.
That was How I See It with Kevin Levrone, brought to you by Levrone.
Thank you, baby.
Supplements.
And you know how we're rolling, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Boom. All right, see you guys next time.